it's like I'm running into a brick wall with everything I do, or I just can't get ahead in life. What's interesting is we complain in life in very architectural terms. So breaking the glass ceiling is an architectural way of describing women getting ahead in the workplace. Believe it or not, when you are having a conversation with, and sometimes we even say, my house needs a facelift. So we personify our architecture, and it sounds like it's a person. So we go back and forth with our languaging, and in architectural terms, we have the skin of the building, the hip of the roof, so we have a lot of body parts, brows, and there's a lot of different terms that we use in architecture that are body parts. And so we just go back and forth with our language. So for example, when somebody says, it's like I'm running into a brick wall with everything I do, I just can't get ahead. I would imagine that somewhere where you spend a lot of time, maybe it's right inside your front door, maybe it's when you go inside your bedroom, there is a wall relatively close to the doorway that you have to sort of skirt around before you can get ahead. So sometimes when you walk in somebody's bedroom, there's the side of the closet that you have to kind of go in and then sort of dodge the closet that's straight ahead, the side of the closet. Or maybe there is a wall. My rule of thumb is, as tall as you are tall, I need that much space inside the front door before you hit a wall when you walk in the door. So Shaquille O'Neal would need like 7 feet, whatever, before a wall is in his space. Everything is proportionate, so a little kid, it feels like there's lots of space there, right? So if you're a 6-foot person, I need 6 feet right inside the threshold of the door before you hit anything to make it feel like there's enough space for you to not have that complaint. It's like I'm running into a wall. I'm broke, right? Some people say I'm broke. What would you expect to have in their house if they say I'm broke? Broken items, exactly. So anything that's not maintained well, I would highly recommend fixing that. It's money well spent, we'll say, to not have that broken stuff, to get that complaint to be eradicated. Because when you can eradicate these complaints, then your life starts changing in those powerful ways. So money goes out as fast as it comes in. That's when you have an energy leak in your house. We talked a little bit about it last night, about toilets taking away energy, sinks removing things, and how we've got so many bathrooms and things in our house now. But it could also be what we were talking about last night, where the front door and the back door are straight in alignment, or the front door and the big view out the back, where your attention just goes straight outside as soon as you enter a space. That would be a quick way to change that complaint, would be to try to address that particular situation of, I'm already outside as soon as I come in. I was over on the Berkeley side of town, up in Berkeley. Beautiful view of the Bay, San Francisco. I mean, it was like the multi-million-dollar view. And the house was designed, it was a custom house designed for that view. I mean, when you got that piece of land, why not? And when you walked into this house, it was almost like the house just like opened up like that. And it was just like glass, Bay, San Francisco, Golden Gate. I mean, it was like phenomenal. And that woman that lived there had multiple degrees. I mean, well qualified for many things. And she could not get anything more than a secretary temp type job. And that was her leaky situation. And so what we want to do is drop breadcrumbs around the house to notice before the energy, so to get the energy in the house before it leaks out. So the whole goal of your house, think of your house as a giant sack of energy, and you're just sort of grabbing it and stuffing it in the house, so you have some energy in case you need it for a particular relationship or health or whatever. So you're trying to hold some energy. Your house is like a sack of energy. And if there's a big window or door out the back, it's like it just keeps leaking out. As much as you stuff in, it just keeps going out. So when you walk into the house and there's a giant killer view, I would just, wow, look at this inlay floor. Oh my God, it's so sparkly. Oh, look at that piece of art over there. Beautiful. If you can get the eye to, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, look at that view. Whoa. But you've captured it in the house a little bit before it escapes, then you've done your job. I would say give me 3 or 4 stops before view. But when you walk into a house and you see view and you're tripping over the furniture, look at that view, you've lost it. It will be a very challenging from a health and from a financial point of view. So if you walk into the master bedroom and you just see, wow, look at that view, and you didn't see the bed first, you've missed it. Kind of like how hotels, they usually have a big view out the back, but they always put that round table with a big thing of flowers in the way. I mean, that stops you, and it helps you to do that environmental psychology thing that I was talking about last night. What are we going to get these people to do when they walk in? We don't want them to walk in and go, oh, look at that view, and then they got their suitcases with them. And they're like, they didn't check in. We need them to turn. Where's the check-in? Where's the register? So that's that pause point, and that's what they're doing from a sort of subtle design point of view. But they usually like to give that view. It's usually not you just walk into a hotel. I mean, I'm talking about a grand hotel here, where you don't, you don't just walk in and there's just sort of like a hallway ahead and you just have to go right or left. That's rare. There's usually a hallway, but it's across from the hallway. There's a grand space, the living room type space that gives you that view. If your front door is hidden or out of the way, you will have a feeling of opportunities passing you by as well. So your front door is the mouth of your house's body. So we want to make sure that it's accessible. And if you have a wall in front of it, a tree in front of it, a bunch of clutter in front of it, it's hard to get the big bite of cake with all this stuff in front of your face. So that's how your house is taking in the energy. So, in this sort of a cone space in front of the front door, you want that to be pretty wide open to allow for that energy to come into it. So I know several people like are in multi-tenant buildings and their door is in a hallway, and right across the 4.5 feet over is another door of the apartment across the way. My advice would be to make your door the most attractive door in the hallway. And you can do that with, maybe a happy welcome mat if you're allowed to put them there, maybe some sort of accoutrement, bright colors. And if all else fails, you're not allowed to do anything outside the door. It just has to be sort of like everybody else's door. I would do a little yin or etheric or invisible cure. I would wash my door, make my door. So do a ritual for your door and honor your door like so much that people are just attracted to your door more than the other doors. And I have had people do that, and they say, it is hysterical how many, does Betty live here? No, Betty lives down. They just want to knock on that door. So more opportunities are coming your way. So you've done it right when you get more than the appropriate, knocks.